Hi, I'm Amy. Today is our first official working day after our 8 days of Spring Festival. Spring Festival is our biggest holiday in China, and it is an important holiday to looking forward to because it is long and it is a family reunion holiday. During the long holiday, normally the people can have a rest after a whole year's work and can get the stress relief. Also, the people can go to travel, go to do something normally they don't have time to do, and they can have a good time with their family members and relatives. Also, some people can have a self-improvement, can do something new and fun. All these are the advantages of the long vacations. And the Spring Festival is the best time to do this kind of things. Anyway, this is not the point I would like to talk today. Nowadays, inside China, on internet, there has a heated discussion about the least favorite thing during the festival. So guess what thing? Visiting the relatives. I think in Western country, right, in your big festival, you go to visit relatives as well. So as in China, the Spring Festival is the best time to visit your relatives, and it is kind of customary, traditional. And I still can remember when I was young, my parents take me and my brother go to visit their relatives, their uncle, auntie. And this year, I'm 43, I am a middle-aged woman, and I take my kid, my family, to go to visit my family members. So do my friends and other relatives. They go to visit their relatives as well. So for me, this is kind of a normal thing, and it's a very important part of the Spring Festival celebration. But why the young people, they don't like visiting relatives? In fact, I can understand them after what I got through and what I have seen on internet. So now let me explain to you. They have some reasons. First, no common topic. Nowadays, most young generation, when they graduate from the school, they choose to the big city to work and live. So they are lack of connection with their relatives, and they are in the big city, so they know lots of new things, and they make new friends. So after years, when they get back to their hometown, and normally it's a small village and it's a small town, so they don't have the common topic, so it's a little embarrassed when they meet together. Second, the transformation of social style. The young people, they prefer to get together of like-minded friends to share their interests and experience through the platforms. And this is kind of more attractive than connecting with the relatives, use a very traditional way, face-to-face visiting. The third one, negative experience. This, I think, is the most reason make the young people, they don't want to visit their relatives. I have to say I can understand because I got through some of this. Because some of relatives, especially the elders, they really likes preaching the youngers and inquires lots of questions about their personal life. Like after 1 year, right, you go back to the hometown and you visit your relative, so they are very curious about your work. And also they are more curious about your marriage. Especially if you are not married, you may have the huge pressure to face your family members and relatives, because lots of relatives likes urging marriage on the family meetings. It happened to me before. I think I mentioned in one of my video before. And about this, I think lots of young people even rent a girlfriend or a boyfriend while they go back to visit their family during the Spring Festival. This was a very popular topic and news in these years. I think still some young people do this because they really don't want to feel this huge pressure. So you can imagine how huge this pressure is in China. So don't think you have a girlfriend or boyfriend or you get married, that's done. No. If you are not get married, they will urge you to get married soon. If you are already married, they ask you, when will you have a kid? And if you have one kid, they will ask you, when will you have a second kid? One kid is too lonely. Have another kid to accompany him or her, and it's good for you when you get old. And if you have 2 kids already, they maybe ask you about your incomes and your kids' school, something like this. Anyway, some relatives, they have thousands of questions to ask you. And all this kind of thing makes the young people feel uncomfortable and anxious. I think they are over asked. So the young people, they really don't feel uncomfortable when they being asked. And also some relatives, they will mention their own kids or their relatives or their friends' kids. What is their job, what is their income, and their marriage, their kids. So this kind of thing to compare your situation. Maybe they are not on purpose, but they do make you feel uncomfortable and unconscious. So all this negative experience make the young people, they don't want to get through this again. But like I said, this is kind of a very important traditional custom, and this is a must-to-do thing. As I know, they always have some exceptions. But if someone who doesn't go to visit their relatives, lots of people will discuss him behind him, so he will be criticized for being too cold and is considered as offish. So if you don't go to visit your relatives, this is kind of a huge pressure thing as well. And I have to say, most Chinese people have an obsession about the family members reunion. So that's why they don't like visiting their relatives, but they have to and they need to. I have to say, like my dad's age and his last generation, they have the very strong relationship with all their relatives, because China is kind of a relationship society. And especially long time ago, most ordinary people, common people like me, my family, we don't have lots of resource. So when a person need a job or it's time to get married, most people rely on the relative relationship. Normally, the relative can provide some information. So those days, keep close relationship with your relatives, like visiting relatives in Spring Festival is a customer and it's a necessary thing. I didn't mean keep relationship on purpose. They are our families. Most people long for family affections. It's a good thing to get support from your family members and relatives. But what I really want to say is that time have changed. So we have all kinds of ways to show our attentions, our respect to our family members and relatives. We live in China now and we are very close to our relatives. So this Spring Festival, last Spring Festival, we all went back to visit my relatives. I have very good relationships with my 3 aunties and 1 uncle. When I was working in Guangdong and Hangzhou, thousands of miles away, I call them from time to time and send some little gifts when it's a festival. When I was a kid, I felt their care and love. So when I grew up, when I have the ability, so I show my attention, my care. So I think this is normal people should do. It's no doubts about this. If one day I live here to another city or another country, very far from here, so I still can find a proper way to show my attention. The time changes, so the way of celebrate holidays and the way to keep connection of your relatives can be changed, and we have more choice. In fact, we don't need to choose the traditional way to connecting with the family members and the relatives. Even so, the young generation, they still long for kinship, and I guess they just want to get along with their relatives by a comfortable, respectful, and equal way. So do you have any thought about the visiting relative thing? Hope you have a good day. Bye bye.